What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having an amazing week so far. As always, if you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can at Dream Rare. That's at DREAMRARE, Dream Rare. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. Check out my website for news, analysis, shirts, donation link, email list, all that stuff at legendary.vision. I'm going to wait about 10-15 more seconds stall for people to get into this live stream. And I want to talk about a breaking story that is out, that is so bizarre, that is so ridiculously twisted in so many ways. It almost seems like a fiction novel or a gossiping, fake news story from a right-wing extremist, but it's not. It's a totally true story. It's being covered by the entire mainstream media. And I'm going to wait 10 more seconds for people to get in. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And it's so terrible. I'm just wondering at what point are people going to wake up? Is the law enforcement, is the government and all of these ideologues that are like, oh, I'm a better person than you and everybody outside of me is racist and sexist. And then they do stuff like this and wonder why everyone else is so mad. So just give me like 5 more seconds and I'm going to post my links below, my email list. Sign up to that when I'm done. So the story is there was an illegal immigrant. They're calling him an undocumented immigrant. We used to call them illegal aliens. I'm not a big fan of labels. I really don't care. I think illegal alien is kind of weird. They're not an alien, whatever. But then it's like illegal immigrant. Now they're undocumented. It's like the press treats illegal immigration better than they treat actual citizens. If you're a Mexican citizen in the United States or you're a Salvadorian citizen, you get treated like crap. But if you run over the border and you're an illegal citizen, you're the NBC star and CNN star. So this guy was deported 5 different times, and he was wanted for a 6th deportation. So for all of the morons, and I've always said, me personally, I'm just giving you backstory before I get into this whole news thing. I'm not your screaming right-wing, build a wall, build a wall, build a wall. But I'm disgusted by what the Democrats and the opposition of Trump says because they don't have a solution. They just put little Latina children on their lap and they're like, oh, look, I love this girl so much. I'm like, don't we all? But what are you doing about the true problems that our society faces that you scumbags, and I'm going to say that because that's what these people are, they don't actually care about it. So they preach like they're the all-being Mother Teresa's of society. Meanwhile, real problems like this exist every day. This guy was 5 times deported. It's like a video game, back and forth and 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 back, and then kills somebody. And here's the kicker: gets off nearly scot-free. All of the murder charges, all of the second-degree murder charges were dropped. So this happened in July of 2015. The guy's last name Zarate. Doesn't really matter. You can look up the story. Shoots a woman by the name of Kate Steinle. She was walking home with her father, gets shot, and somehow the San Francisco judge system, whatever you want to call it, found that he was not guilty of 1st and 2nd degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. He was also found not guilty of assault with a semi-automatic weapon. He was found guilty of 2 counts of possessions of felon with a firearm. So all of the murder charges were suspiciously dropped. Like it never happened. And the story that they got off with was, oh, no, he found the gun. He didn't buy the gun. And the gun was stolen from a Federal Bureau of Land Management ranger a week earlier. This guy says he just finds the gun. The gun fires on itself, ricochets off of the concrete, hits this poor woman, kills this woman, and he gets off. And let's keep in mind, San Francisco is a sanctuary city, which basically means the law of the land doesn't exist. And I'm very kind towards all ethnicities, races, religions. I have family that's 100% Mexican from Mexico, so I'm no stranger to Mexican lifestyle and whatnot, but a law is a law, and at a certain point, if you're just twisting everything to hurt the modern day citizen to the point where somebody kills somebody and he's an undocumented citizen who was literally deported 5 times, and you bend over backwards and say that this guy's innocent. I mean, this is ridiculous. It shouldn't be a Republican or a right-wing issue. I'm not a Republican or a right-wing person, but this is why President Trump is doing well. This is why the Chelsea Handlers and the Bill Mayers and the Stephen Colberts and all of these people who think they have the ideological high ground and they're like, oh, everybody's racist and sexist. This is the type of stuff that goes unreported, misreported, and falls by the wayside every single day that people are sick and tired of. And also, this guy, 3 months before the shooting, despite a request by federal immigration authorities to detain him for deportation, they let him out of a San Francisco jail. So this guy got deported 5 times, was wanted for a 6th deportation, and somehow got let out of jail, was able to find a gun. Oh, I just found a gun. Whoa, the gun just ricocheted and killed somebody. And got found not guilty of 1st and 2nd degree murder and involuntary manslaughter, and he was also found not guilty of an assault with a semi-automatic weapon, when that's exactly what he did. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and this shouldn't be a bipartisan issue. This shouldn't, and then they're like, whoa, people are politicizing it now. It's not politicizing, it's common sense. If there's people who are criminals, who are doing stuff like this, who are finding guns and just happening to shoot them, that are coming back and forth 6 times, at what point do you realize, hey, maybe we need to fix something with our, immigration system. Maybe we need to fix something with the wall. And this is so pathetic. When the news talks about it, they use a 10-year-old Latina girl, put her on Hillary Clinton's lap, and act like there's no debate. Like, oh, everybody who doesn't like me is racist. Of course we all like little children, like, not like apparently YouTube and some of the Democrats like the children. I'm not saying in that way, but we like them as much as, like, we don't want them to be, sent out of the country if they're getting an education and whatnot. But at what point do we have a conversation about border security? Because it's been 1 year since President Trump was elected, and while I was never the biggest supporter, just being honest, of build a wall, build a wall, build a wall, I was dumbfounded by the response to build a wall, to the point where I'm like, okay, well, if the options are build a wall and everything is racist, sexist, xenophobic, let's have open borders and like kill ourselves and hate ourselves, then I'm sorry, build a wall seems like a much more common sense approach, especially when I just watched an NBC special where they're like making fun of the prototypes of the wall, and 5 guys on horseback jump over the little fence that they have while they're trying to report and make fun of Trump. And they're like, oh, wow, like people really do jump over the wall. And they're like, yeah, bro, this is like what we deal with every day. And the guy looked like, never mind, I don't want to get emotional and mean in this video, but this is ridiculous. I mean, what is even a sanctuary city? A sanctuary city means that you can't work with federal investigators and that the state basically covers for people who are undocumented citizens, and they could be deported 5 or 6 times, and the city now has their back more than they have their own citizens back. In no way am I racist, in no way am I xenophobic, in no way am I sexist or any of these things. Like I said, I'm part Latino myself, and I have 100% Mexican family. I have a Mexican stepfather, I have Mexican step siblings who I love very much, and I don't think any of my family, I know they don't, agree with any of this stuff, because it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, at what point do these people, do these Democrats, some Republicans as well, but at what point is it obvious who they care about? I mean, they've bent over backwards to support terrorists, terror organizations, cartels, illegal immigrants, more than they do a citizen that's black, white, Latino. They don't care about anybody. These people are the scum of America. And all they do every single day on these news sources is lie, 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 lie to protect people who shouldn't be in this country, to make it sound like there's no radical religion problem in the Middle East. I mean, talk to anybody from Syria. Talk to anybody from Egypt. Talk to anybody from Libya. You probably can't talk to the people in Libya because thanks to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, some of them are being sold into slave trade. And then you have disgusting celebrity elites who are like, oh, everybody's racist who doesn't agree with me. And morons like Eminem who's like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. If you're not on my side and you're on Trump's side, then F you. It's like, well, I'm on Trump's side, Eminem, because you suck. Nothing you've ever said. You talk about pills and beating your wife. Like, oh yeah, I really want you to be president. No offense, you make great music, but I mean, come on, bro. What solutions do you have for humanity? What ideas do you have that are pushing America forward? None. You don't have any. You've just been basically like making up weird fantasies your whole life, and now you think you're better than the president of the United States. I'm sorry, bro, but you're not. Because border security is real. Travel security is real. I'm sorry. The Middle East war exists. Slavery exists. And now there's immigrants that are coming over 6 times. I mean, after the 4th time, like, at what point are you like, hey, maybe we need to switch up our strategy a little bit? And I'm not saying that you have to say, build a wall. I'm not saying that you have to say, oh, send people back or something. I'm not asking for ignorant rhetoric or extremist rhetoric, but what I am saying is when I can't even have this conversation with 9 out of 10 people, I'm like, hey, what do you think about, oh, everything is racist and all that's racist? It's not racist. You're so dumb. And if it was just a few people like, oh, like I'm just extremist liberals, and I'm like, okay, that's great, like just do your thing. But it's like every single news source. It's the New York Times, it's the Washington Post, it's the Huffington Post, it's Newsweek, it's ABC, it's NBC, it's CBS, it's CNN, it's Twitter, it's Facebook News. And they're like, oh, well, we can't even wonder why people like President Trump. Because he's better than all of you morons. Because you morons are the reason why there's somebody, I don't care if they came from Antarctica, I don't care if they came from Mexico, I don't care if they came from Canada, I don't care if they're the whitest of the white, pale person that came from Greenland or England. If they came over here illegally 5 times and they're wanted for 6th deportation and then they shoot and kill somebody and then they get off innocent, like, oh, no, they didn't kill somebody, it ricocheted because we're San Francisco and we're a sanctuary city, you know? Meanwhile, Twitter, the big bombshell story on Twitter today is like, President Trump made a comment about women. He likes women's body parts. Wow, oh my God, a man likes women's body parts? Whoa, stop the press. Wow, what a bombshell story. I had no idea men liked women's body parts. Whoa, he complimented a woman's body part? Well, if it was up to Twitter, they'd have all 10-year-old boys wearing makeup because those are the stories they feature. So, of course, they can't fathom a man who likes a woman because that's not their part of their agenda. They're like, oh, we like illegal immigrants and terrorists more than we like black people who don't agree with us. And then if you're like a Latino in America, there's millions of them who are like, hey, we support President Trump, or hey, we came from Mexico, hey, we came from Salvador, hey, we came from Guatemala, we came from Argentina, and nothing that you say is true. They're like, oh, you're a racist, you're a sellout. And they're like, I just came from that country. And they're like, well, if you don't agree with us and you don't put makeup on your 10-year-old boy, you must be a xenophobe. It's like, these morons need to stop. Because nothing about this case made sense. It didn't make sense that he was even here. It didn't make sense that he was released from jail. It didn't make sense that he found a stolen gun. And it certainly doesn't make sense that he got off innocent. After all of this stuff, at what point do we call it like we see it? These people are beta cuck scumbags, and or fake feminists who are going to destroy the country with their misinformation, their lies, their hate, their negativity, and their lack of common sense to even have a discussion about anything. Nothing matters to these people. They want to throw glitter on your 5-year-old kid and probably molest him when nobody's looking, and then call you a sexist because you don't want your 10-year-old kid to be, have makeup on his face. When there's billions of dollars being made in the makeup industry, they're already over advertising it to grown women. I mean, I think women are beautiful and they don't even need to wear makeup. And if you do, that's great. Spice it up some nights. I get it looks better. It looks good in pictures. It looks good when you're dancing, whatever. Do your thing. But me personally, I think that they put too much on women. So now they're like, oh, if you want a border wall and you want travel security, you're a racist xenophobe. No, you morons. We're the smart people who want to help and protect your kids from all the dangers of the world that you don't act like don't exist. I mean, it's so stupid that it's been a year and 2 years and that we still have to have this conversation. When I talk to somebody that hates Trump and I'm like, hey, what do you think about the border wall? 10 times out of 10, oh my God, it's racist. There's no way we could do this. I mean, you don't go talk to the border security, talk to people in Mexico. I get messages from Latino people in Mexico who are like, I live right by the border and I had to move because the cartels run the towns and it's really scary. I came from Mexico and I'm trying to get the F out. I'm not saying all of Mexico is terrible. I'm sure it's a great place. But at what point do we stop letting these fake feminists, fake beta male social justice warriors who really just pretend to be a feminist to get laid, at what point do we stop them from all this fake journalism? At what point do we stop them from all this misinformation and sanctuary city and, oh, we gotta protect terrorists before and criminals before we even protect our own people. The DACA situation, that's great, totally. Protect innocent kids who are here to study and learn and love American culture and grow and add their own flavor to American culture. That's great. I'm all for keeping all the good DACA kids here. But as far as, these morons and these journalists, literally, you could Google, it's a Salon article. They're literally like funding Al-Qaeda members. You have CNN who worked with Al-Qaeda members. You had CNN who had pedophile contributors who had 6-month-old porn found on their computer. It's a bombshell story that no one talked about before all this Harvey Weinstein stuff. 6 months. It's not like he was in a chat room. Oh, I didn't realize you were 17 years old. My bad. It's just a 6-month-old on his computer. These disgusting pedophiles are the ones that are acting like they have the moral high ground. Oh, you're racist if you don't think that Hillary Clinton with a Latina girl on her lap is a better solution than a border wall. I mean, Kate Steinle killed by a person who was over the wall 5 times or came in under a train or on a plane. I have no idea, but 5 times deported, was going to be deported a 6th time, found a gun. Whoa, the gun just killed somebody. And San Francisco decided that it's not guilty of 2nd-degree murder or an involuntary manslaughter. They even said he was not guilty of involuntary manslaughter. That's what involuntary manslaughter is mistakenly killing someone. Involuntary. Oh, it's voluntary. He was also found not guilty of an assault. These people are absolutely disgusting. Much love to everyone in America. Much love to everyone in Mexico. Much love to everyone in the world. This isn't a racial issue. This is a common sense issue. This is now an American issue that we can't even have a conversation without these morons thinking everything's racist. It has nothing to do with race. There's millions of Mexicans. There's millions of Latinos. There are millions of Central Americans. There's millions of South Americans in the United States. And the liberals who are like, oh, I work for the Huffington Post, they probably think everybody's Mexican. But the reality is a lot of the Latino people here aren't just from Mexico. There's other countries, believe it or not. And they all don't like you either. I talk to them all the time, and nobody agrees with you. So stop with this BS. Stop with the fake news. Stop letting people come over our country 6 times, kill somebody, and then let them scot-free like they didn't even do it. I don't care if they came from Canada or England. It has nothing to do with their skin color, their ethnicity. It has everything to do with common sense and protection and safety. So I'm sick of it. And let's have a conversation. Somebody, give me a bombshell about actual policy. What's a better policy than the wall? What should we do? How should we protect people? If you just scream racism and sexism and xenophobia at every controversial issue in the world, this is what's going to happen. We're going to completely melt as a society, much like we did over the last 8 years when no one was paying attention, because the Middle East was getting destroyed. They were killing leaders in the Middle East, and now there's slavery in Libya, thanks to your heroes, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And everyone's like, whoa, why is there slavery in Libya? It's like, because you guys didn't pay attention for the last year. When I tried to tell you, you thought I was racist. And when I tried to tell you about Hillary, you thought I was sexist, or you thought I was a bigot because I was suggesting that Trump might be a better option or somebody else. I mean, this is the world we live in, and these conversations need to be had. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. God bless the family of this woman. God bless all families everywhere that have to deal with all the nonsense that is this crazy world. But it's also a beautiful time to be alive. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to post my donation link and my email list below if you'd like to support the movement. It helps. Believe it or not, I get 1/20,000,000th of the funding of the New York Times and the Washington Post, yet we're pretty much more effective than them now. Nobody believes them because they just lie about everything. So I appreciate that, and the email list will help us stay connected. God bless. Thank you.